Ghosts, UFOs, alien encounters, and all things paranormal. These are real stories from real people. This is Fear of the Unknown.
Welcome, Meredith. Thank you for agreeing to come on. I asked my wife Meredith to come on because since I've known her, or since I've known you, you've been telling me all sorts of crazy stories from your childhood. I didn't know anything about the Philippines before I went there, and one of the first things I heard about was like the superstitions, like some really interesting superstitions. Like don't go to sleep with wet hair because it's bad luck, or like don't lean on a table with your hands under your chin. It's just like there's a million and one different superstitions, I guess.
Yeah.
But amongst that is like I learnt about the monsters that you have over there, Aswang. But it's crazy. There's like a whole alphabet. Well, there's a whole encyclopedia of different monsters and stuff.
Mm.
So, like, as a kid, naturally, you believed in some of them, or you believed. What was it like when you were little?
I guess, well, the word aswang is just the most general term for. I wouldn't say a ghost. I don't think monster is the right word. I think it's more of an evil presence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any that stuck out for you as a kid?
I guess if number one would probably be the one that attacks pregnant women, because I guess as a woman it's scary, you know, because the fact that it preys on the baby itself, it actually wants to eat the baby. So
how does it do that?
Well,
because I know are you talking about manananggal?
No. I mean, I guess I'm not the best when it comes to accuracy, because my dad explained a lot of the fakeness of most of it, I guess, but...
Right. So he gave you the sort of Santa Claus isn't real story.
Yeah.
Like very early on.
Yeah, but I think I do remember it definitely has a long tongue.
Yeah.
That apparently...
Do you know what I heard?
No.
I heard it's a creature that, like, it's like a woman that's a demon with bat's wings, right? And so she goes to find a place to hide her legs, and she'll disconnect the top half of her body and flap around and look for a house with a pregnant woman inside. And then she'll look through a hole in the ceiling,
mm-hmm.
and if she sees a pregnant woman, she'll bring her tongue down.
And that's the manananggal.
Yeah. She'll bring her tongue down into the house, and through the navel,
yep,
will suck out the baby.
Because I thought that's what you... my memory tells me it's more like the tikbalang.
Is that the greasy one? The slimy one?
Yeah, I thought that tikbalang is the one that's with, where pregnant women and eats babies.
I think there's lots of... Look, baby fetuses are just so delicious to these monsters, I think. There's like so many of them that like fetuses. Like what's that slimy one that will slip underneath the door?
Yep, I do remember.
That sounds
slimy.
so freaking scary.
Yeah.
And duende. Is that a type of...
the duende is not so much full evil, but it's still scary because
it's a magical creature.
Yeah, more like a magical creature that you must not disrespect. Yeah. Apparently, like they, one of my schoolmates told me that if you see a mound,
it could be like sand or
usually covered with grass, like in an area where there's grass, and if you see one that has a bit of a mound to it, that means it's the house of the duende, where like some sort of gnome, I guess, is like a type of gnomes, like... Well,
duende in Spanish means
dwarf. Dwarf, like a dwarf.
I think, dwarf wouldn't,
Yeah, and so you must not point your finger at it, because they would know, and if...
It's like disrespectful.
Yep. And if you accidentally point your finger, you have to say sorry 3 times. Well, the equivalent of it for us is not exactly sorry, but it's similar to sorry 3 times. And
what is it that you say?
Oh, well, we say tabi po. That means like It's actually difficult to explain.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Is it like coming through? Or?
coming through, yep,
Okay.
yep, coming through, or like you say that 3 times and apparently you will be pardoned.
Now you've got a story I just remembered now.
Yep.
You used to live in that place, Eustaquio, and this lady came in, and she was like a master ventriloquist.
Oh no,
And
this is in my mum's friend's.
Oh, okay.
I was living at my mum's friend's house.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Um,
Because that's like it's kind of like messed up how
yeah,
someone can exploit the fears of
yep.
yeah.
There were 2, I'd say mid-40s ladies that, for some reason, they convinced my mum's friend, where I was living at the time, that in order to make her business successful and in order, just full-on successful, apparently, you have to let these creatures.
Was it a duende? Or something like-
Apparently,
Yeah.
similar to that,
Okay.
because they're so small, you can't see them, or that they don't show themselves. They just kind of use the ladies as
conduit, like a
yep, like and she was asked to offer like a bowl or platter of choice fruits,
Okay,
and
like a fruit platter.
yeah,
but of like
yeah,
really
like
high quality.
really choice
Wow.
fruits of, and not just that, but like a feast, like a
Wow.
table of almost like a banquet of like a feast of
Yeah.
food, and
Where were you this whole time? Were you like watching from a distance or?
I was just a bit curious, so I went in there for a little while, but they didn't actually want many people coming over there,
Oh,
but
sure.
it was I saw the lady
Yeah.
talking, and it was like there was literally a very, very small high-pitched voice happening, and I don't see her mouth moving at all. I mean, like they must be very good doing that, because but the thing is that the sound felt like it wasn't coming from some type of
Device.
no, it didn't feel like it was coming from a small area somewhere where it would give you the idea that there's really some little creature in there hiding.
Oh, so it wasn't coming from a chair.
It didn't feel like that, but it was very good, because
She didn't move her mouth. Some ventriloquists
It's
are so
just-
crazy good.
yeah.
Like
But it
literally,
was
you don't
high-pitched.
see their mouth or their throat, nothing. They manage to keep themselves so super still while doing that. And so eventually, this thing demanded money.
Something
remember-
like that.
Do you
Something
remember how
like
much it was? Like it was a pretty sizable amount.
all I know is that after that whole thing, my mum's friend, everything went down. I shortly after that had to leave them and move on with my life, and then maybe about a month later, or maybe a couple of months later, she called me and said that if she can borrow money from me, because she's just bankrupt.
No
She's
way.
just
Did she pay up to the?
I think she really gave her or the ladies a
Wow.
lot of money. I don't understand why she could be fooled into that, but maybe who knows what else they did to her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just messed up.
Yeah. I mean, the time I was in the Philippines, I learnt so many different like sort of techniques and tricks that people would do to sort of grift, and it's incredible. It's amazing.
Yep.
Like if someone wants your phone, there's a couple of techniques. One of them is just by going, "I need to borrow your phone right now," and they'll be really
Yeah.
intense in your face, and you're like, "Oh, the decent human part of you goes, okay."
Mm-hmm.
And they just take your phone, start talking, and just like run off or walk off, or they'll just leave you there kind of gobsmacked, just like what just happened.
Yep.
Or there's a type of hypnosis that they do where they talk to you in a way that's very confusing, but it's kind of like it puts you into a bit of a state. It's not like proper hypnosis,
No.
but it's like you just kind of like they put you into a stunned state.
Yep.
And then they say, just give me your phone, or like, you know, give me this, and you just do it because they've put you in this state.
Yeah.
But you've actually had like a couple of strange experiences yourself.
I think there are two things that really sort of stuck in my memory. Is the first one is I was born in a home, so I wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't in a hospital. So I was born in a home. You know, with the midwife doing home birth and all that. So I grew up in that house until I was about 5, 6 maybe. And so one time I was playing hide and seek with my friend, and I guess being my first, I guess anything before this, nothing scary ever happened to me.
Right.
So I wasn't scared at all. I was not scared of anything, so I decided to hide under the cupboard under the sink. I decided to hide there, but I left a bit of a gap so I would know if, you know,
someone's coming.
Yeah, or I can still see.
Yeah.
But it was dark, you know, so but I wasn't afraid. And then while I was waiting there, I saw one of our servants walk past, and I was like, you know, I knew it wasn't my friend, so I just stayed quiet as much as I could. And then, but eventually, you know, I got found by my friend, and you know, and then later on, I went and told my our servant, I saw you, you know, I was hiding there, and it's like, and he told me like, no, I didn't go there, like I didn't go there at all, like.
So it was.
So I was like. That was my first sort of like, I guess, moment where I really, as a kid, I really felt, okay, that's really scary.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever played hide and seek like with as much gusto and you know, like, like ever since that. I don't think.
I know the feeling. It's just that first encounter with something strange that just kind of makes you scared. Because I remember like when I was a little kid, we lived in flats, and I wasn't really afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
And our friend, because all the other kids that lived in the building, we'd all meet downstairs and talk and stuff. But one day, and I was just talking to this with my brother Martin earlier. Because we came back from somewhere and they had a seance in one of the rooms. All the kids got together and like did a seance where you had the letters and the numbers and yes, no. And what happened was that like they told you can't tell if it's true. I mean, at the time, my memory of it was thinking, yeah, right, that sounds like bullcrap. But they did this seance and the light on the ceiling kind of kept switching off by itself. And they kept switching it back on, and then the light just suddenly went, like it stayed alight and just like it's like it unscrewed itself out of the ceiling and fell on the ground and went boom and slammed into the wall just across the ground into the like skirting board.
Oh my dear.
Yeah, and at the time that freaked me out so much.
Yeah.
Just I couldn't be in the dark alone.
Yeah.
Because we grew up like religious, so. Anything like that is like demon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Yeah, that really.
Yeah. But was it in that house that you had those other experiences? Because you were telling me that you lived in a house that had weird stuff happening.
No, this is different. So this is probably the second one that I could kind of remember well. This other house has been offered to us for rent at a cheaper price. Actually, it's a big house. It's got 2 parts to the house. So there's the main house where I guess the family resides, because it's more of like like the main house, and
Yeah.
then next to that house there's a short connecting I guess a short connecting area. It's not much of a tunnel or anything. It's just a short area where you walk. So the main house has its own doors.
Corridor, you mean?
Not really. Just I guess the first house is complete in its own. It's got its own gates and doors, or I mean just doors. It's
Would
got
it be like a granny flat?
the second one.
Yeah.
No, because the second one.
Sorry, I'm just interrupting you.
No, that's all right. That's. It's just because it's a layout that's not actually very common, and we've never encountered any layout like that ever after that.
Okay.
It was, I don't know what it was built for, but anyway, the second part, which is a separate area, which I guess is just a longish area, doors on both sides of it. So it's like 12 rooms, I guess. So if you imagine 6 doors facing each other, and the center is just a corridor. So this is the second part of the house, which does not connect at all.
So it could have
to
been like servants' quarters.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's actually a good way to describe it.
Okay.
And at the end of this kind of 12 rooms, I guess, is a kitchen, a big kitchen at the end of it. So that's kind of like forming the cul-de-sac.
Sure.
Of that.
Just that room at the end is the kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what we did with that is that we actually cannot use all of the rooms that's a lot. 12 is a lot.
Yeah.
If not 12, 10, but that's still a lot.
Sure.
But one of them was for ironing clothes, maybe the other rooms for maids, for the servants, and
your brother had a music room as well, right?
the music room is one of the rooms in there that my dad really
He decked it out.
made it into a proper music room.
Yeah. Meredith's brother was piano genius as a child.
Yeah.
Like at the age of like 8, he was winning competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
So your parents really invested in.
Yeah. So that house or that area I did, it's definitely full of spooky stuff.
Right.
At one point, I think I was hanging out with one of our maids in there ironing clothes and all that, when it was a very hot summer night, really hot, the muggy weather, and the door just slammed. The door just literally slammed.
No wind.
And we.
Okay, the door just kind of like moved behind me and just scared the shit out of me.
And at one point, I remember my mum's my I guess singing lesson teacher, when he tried to he said to me that happened to him as well when he was there. It slammed, and when he tried to open it, it felt like someone, and the room was empty when it happened to him. The same thing where the door slammed.
Yeah.
And he was trying to open it. Obviously, no one is inside.
Yeah.
And it felt like someone was stopping him from opening it.
Oh shit! Like they're tugging it from the other side.
Yep, tugging, like.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's. And then another thing is because the servants sleep in there.
Yeah.
In that second part, which they said that at night, many times, they hear someone cooking in the kitchen, and amongst themselves they found out like, hey, no one was apparently going or doing anything, no business at all in the kitchen area there at the very end of that sort of that's really
What door is it? I want to have a look. Okay, I know what it is. Yeah, the studio window is open, so it's probably like pushing the door back and forth. That, or it's just demons. And ghosts.
Yep.
Wow. And you have another story as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that I found really strange.
Mm.
Because it's unconventional.
Mm.
But you heard something while you were trying to sleep?
Mm. So this is the same house,
right? Yeah.
Same house. And this time in the area where it's the main family area house, you know.
Yeah.
And there are 2 identical rooms in there that's kind of small, and it's immediately when me and my sister when we were like looking at the house to begin with, like, oh yeah, definitely this is, you know, which we each are gonna have our own rooms and all that, and I was insistent on having the room that's I guess facing the front of the gate, the front gate of the house.
Right.
And
why was that, if I can ask? Why was that?
I love the sun. I love the daylight. I love lots of pouring in of daylight, and so and the one next to it is my sister's, which doesn't have much of a. It's more of a doesn't have much light come into it. I think this is the first time that me and my sister will have our own rooms, even if it's so next to each other.
Yeah. How old were you at this time?
Difficult to remember. Hey, I guess approximately 9, 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
perfect age to get traumatized for the rest of your life.
So I think one night I was trying to sleep. It took me a while actually to get used to it, because like I said, this is the first time me and my sister are not going to be in the same room. And I heard like right next, because I put my bed right next to the window, it's just seems natural, like nice breezy part of the room.
It's as unspooky as you can get.
Yeah, and we had a dog at the time. It was and I loved dogs so much at the time, and so he was just next to the wall of the house. That's where we put his cage in.
Right.
And so I heard someone clipping nails. So it went on for a while. Like I would say, but actually it went on for like maybe 5 minutes or so.
Shit.
And it actually didn't want to stop. That I ended up
listen, before you go on, talk about the sound. How far was it, and how clear was it?
It was so close that if I nail clipping, like if
I do this next to the mic, that sort of close.
That's, I'd say 80% close, because it really felt like someone clipping their nails with a nail clipper.
Oh crap!
But the thing is, it was quite. It didn't have a lot of pausing with it, so you do have to think
like
who would go and have like what.
It's like they must have
hundreds of fingers or nails to clip.
Or do you know what's even creepier? If they had really long nails.
I didn't think about that, but that's like. Oh.
Mind you, having 97 fingers is also creepy. But imagine these long claws that they're just like trimming.
Yeah. And it was so close to the wall, where obviously my bed is like situated in now, that I had a few minutes of thinking, okay, what does it really sound like? And it really sounds like that. And I don't remember taking a peep at the window, because all I know is that our dog was not making any noises at all. It was just like
Maybe a dog was just like clipping its nails.
yeah, but I just, after about 5 minutes, I think of it, I just bounded and like just slammed on my sister's door and like.
What did she do? Did you freak her out?
No, I didn't even explain it to her. I just rammed at her door and just like stayed there. You know, she was asleep and she just probably went back to sleep, and I just like, I'm just so happy to be there.
In the company of someone.
Yeah, of someone.
Well, I think I'm sure you have more stories. I'd like to bring you back again because we've run out of time for today. But thanks so much. I know that it's not the easiest thing to do this, so I appreciate it so much. I'm sure everyone has loved hearing your stories too. But actually, I just want to make a shout out. We just came back from the funeral of Chris Paulson. He was a very dear person to me, and I just want to say a word up to wherever you are, and thanks. And yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for listening. You're distracting me by the way you're staring at me. It's like the most intense stare. Okay, see you next time. Bye.
You've been listening to the Fear of the Unknown podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media with all links in the description.